Hi students, welcome to your second pranayama and asana practice for Yoga 1. So if you remember from our first practice, you learned the new pranayama form 3-part breath or Dirgha Swasam, and you learned lots of new asanas or postures. Some of those were cat and cow, tabletop, sukhasana or easy sitting pose, tadasana or mountain, Uttanasana, standing forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana, which is your half fold, or sometimes you'll hear people say flat back. I don't like to say flat because, as you know from our anatomy lecture now, your spine isn't flat. It has natural curves in it. So that's why I don't like to say flat or straight. I like to say things like tall and lengthened. Anyways, and you also learned puppy pose, sphinx. You learned plank, if you didn't already know that, your push-up position, child's pose. You learned seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana, head to knee and revolved head to knee, Janu Shirshasana and Parivrita Janu Shirshasana. And you learned a reclining twist. You learned knee hug or Apanasana, and you learned Shavasana or corpse pose. You do not have to know all of these names yet. I'm just reminding you. And so you can always go to our course website and review. There are photos of all the asanas there along with little descriptions, and there are also videos of all our pranayama forms if you ever want to review those and don't remember which practice they're found in. You can go straight to the pranayama form video, just a shortened 2 to 3 minute version on the course website. So for today's practice, we have a new pranayama form and then a bunch of new asanas, so very similar. We're also going to introduce our first yama, which if you remember from the history and philosophy video, yama is actually the first limb of yoga. There are 5 yamas, and these are restraints we put on ourselves. You can also think of them as guidelines or codes. They're basically things that we want to not do in life in order to live in a yogic way. And so a lot of the times yama and niyama, our second limb, the incorporation of these into yoga is where some people get confused and think yoga is a religion, but hopefully these guidelines are things we can all agree on, and they will layer in with any religious beliefs you may or may not have. So I'll introduce our first one today. Once we get started, it will be our intention for practice. So to start today, find a comfortable seated position, somewhere where you can find your tall spine. So in practice 1, remember we were sitting up on our bolsters. So I have my bolster here. You might choose to sit on that. I find the bolster just a little too tall, so I have chosen instead to sit on my folded blanket. So if you see, I have it folded up a few times so that it makes a shape much like a bolster, but it's just a little less tall. I do recommend you sit on something because if you can get your hips a little bit elevated, it usually makes it easier to find that tall spot. I also have my other props handy. We still won't use the strap this practice, but you'll need it for the next practice. And then I do have my 2 blocks as well. So again, set your mat up so the short end is facing your screen. You'll be sitting straight towards me. I just tend to turn sideways so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So once you're here, give your hands somewhere to rest. Either close the eyes or just take an easy gaze. You don't need to watch me for this next part. And start to focus in on your breath. Notice the length of the inhale and the exhale. Relax your shoulders down the back. And start to count silently to yourself on your inhale and exhale. Aim for a count of 4 if you can. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that again. Keep going. If you need to adjust your count faster or slower, or count to 3 or to 5 or 6, that's totally fine. So this is the very first step of even breath practice, or Samavriti. And the whole purpose of this is just to make sure the breath is even. Your inhale matches your exhale. And so we're going to add on to this breath practice. You're going to add a hold of the breath both on the inhale and on the exhale. Now, if you have any breathing difficulties, any respiratory issues, some folks with asthma will find this difficult, or if it just creates anxiety to hold your breath in or out, leave these out. You'll stick with this very first level of Samavriti, inhaling for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4, or for whatever count you need. You're always welcome to breathe faster or slower than what I'm cueing. Aim to try and slow your breath down if you find you're breathing faster than me, and over time it will get better, but definitely feel free to go at your own pace. So how this is going to work, we're going to inhale for a count of 4, you're going to hold the breath in for a count of 4, you're going to exhale for the count of 4, hold the breath out for a count of 4, and then we'll repeat that whole sequence. If those holds don't work for you, leave them out. You'll just inhale for 4, exhale for 4. So you'll get 2 breaths in for every one of ours, but that's totally fine. So readjust. Make sure you're sitting up tall. Fronts of the hips rock a little forward. Spine is tall. Hands have somewhere to rest. On thighs or knees, maybe folded in the lap. Eyes can close. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath in. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold the breath in. Exhale. Hold the breath out. Twice more. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. Breathing normally. Exhale. Blink the eyes open if you closed them. So that's a very short Samavriti practice, or even breath if you're leaving out the holds. It's often called square breath if you have those holds, because basically the breath pattern is forming a square. The inhale matches the hold, matches the exhale, matches the hold. Now again, this is a pranayama form that you wouldn't do in the middle of a vigorous asana practice, because you wouldn't want those holds of breath. You might do just the even breath practice throughout an asana practice. That would be fine. But with these holds, your full square breath, why might you choose to do it? It's a standalone pranayama form, or you might do it as a meditation practice because it gives you something really concrete to focus on. So you have something to do. You're counting your breath, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Also, a main reason why it would be used as a pranayama form is to help increase breath capacity. So if you were practicing this You might start with that count of 4, and then after several breaths, you would increase to a count of 5. After a few more breaths, increase to a count of 6, and so on. Or maybe each day you aim to increase. The first day is a 4 count, the next day is a 5 count, the next day is a 6 count. Maybe you have to stay at 6 counts for a week or 2, and then you can increase more to 7, to 8. So you are able to get more air in and more air out as you increase the length of that inhale and exhale. So it's a great pranayama form if you're aiming to increase your breath capacity. It's also going to stretch all that connective tissue in the sides of the ribs. So again, that was Samavriti, even breath or square breath. And come back to your tall spine and just stick with the even breath. Breathe in, breathe out. And try to maintain this even inhale and exhale throughout our asana practice for today. Let the eyes close or take an easy gaze. And as we begin our asana practice today, I'm going to invite you to think about a yama as our intention. Thinking specifically about the yama asteya. Asteya means non-stealing. So this restraint is that you're not able to steal from others, to take things that don't belong to you. And so on the surface, you might say, well, that's easy. I'm not going out and stealing cars, I'm not shoplifting, so I've got it. I'm doing asteya. But think about what other ways you might be taking. Stealing from someone's time, from someone's energy, from their happiness. What does that mean? Maybe you have a roommate or a spouse or someone you live with, or even it's the end of your day and you call up a friend or your mom. You've had a horrible day. And so you come home and you start complaining and griping. And it was such a rough day, you find you're kind of yelling at your roommate or your friend or whoever. And if you were able to notice that person, maybe they had a great day. They were in a great mood, they were happy, and now because of the way you are throwing your frustration and anger on them, you're basically stealing their ability to be happy in that moment. And this certainly doesn't mean that you can't share, you can't tell people about what's bothering you, but notice how. Notice how you vent, how you share things with those around you. Can you do it in a way that's not projecting anger, frustration, unhappiness onto that person? Allow them to still feel contentment or happiness that they had. Other ways to think about asteya: are you taking or borrowing things without asking? Or are you taking more than you need of something? Even if something is offered to you freely, if you take more than you really need, now there's less for others. And there might be others that need that more than you do. So keeping that in mind as well. Breathing in. And breathing out. The next time you inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. You might blink the eyes open, you might keep your eyes closed for now. Flip the palms out, exhale, fingers towards the mat, chin drops to chest. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, fingers down. Again, remember, if you need to breathe faster or slower than I am going, you're welcome to do so. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Just really try to sync your movement with your breath. Exhale, fingers down. Now keep the right fingers on the mat. Inhale your left arm up and reach up and over to the side. Keep both sit bones pressing down into your blanket or your bolster. Take one more breath here. Next time you inhale, come back to center, switching arms, and exhale to the other side. Drop the top shoulder away from your ear. One more breath. Inhale through center, switching arms one more time. Reach to the right. Right away, inhale back to center. Exhale, reach left. Inhale, center, both arms come up, palms come together. Exhale, hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Palms come together again. Now twist to your right. Hands drop all the way down to your mat or to your thighs. Grow a little bit taller on your inhale. Maybe you can rotate a little more from the thoracic spine on your exhale. One more breath here. Inhale back to center, arms reach out and up. Hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Remembering that a mudra is an energetic seal of the hands or a hand position. Anjali is this one, prayer mudra. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Palms together, twist left. Hands drop all the way down to legs or mat. Make sure you haven't started to lean back, rock a little forward on the sit bones. Exhale, maybe you twist a little more. One more breath in. One more breath out. Unwind, reach the arms up. Anjali Mudra, exhale, press the palms together, breathing in and breathing out. Reach your hands forward, come to hands and knees. So if you're sitting on your blanket or your bolster, you might move it out of the way, or you might take your blanket and bring it under your knees if you like a little extra cushion. Set your hands up directly under your shoulders, knees are under hips. On your inhale, arch the spine to cow, head and sit bones reach up. Exhale, look at your belly button, curl the spine to cat. Inhale, arching to cow. And exhale, curling to cat. Take that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Come back through neutral. Walk your hands really far forward. Keep your hips high. Melt your chest towards the mat, puppy pose. Inhale to lift your chest. Bring your big toes together. Take your knees really wide today. Sit back on your heels. So this is a wide-kneed child's pose. Forehead to mat. Stay where you are. I've just turned my head up so that I can talk and you can hear me a little bit better. So you'll notice that you can do child's pose with the knees wide, or in our first practice, we kept our knees closer together. So both are great variations of child's pose. If you find that you like the closed-kneed version better and you'd like to move to that now, you're welcome to. If I don't specify, you can take any variation whenever I say child's pose. Remember, you can always bring your blanket behind your knees or under your hips if you need a little bit of support, but try to reach your sit bones as close to your heels as you can. Take one more breath here. Come back up to table as you inhale. And then step one foot back behind you, ball of the foot on the mat. Press your heel towards the back of the room. Your fingers have some space in between them and middle fingers are pointing straight ahead. The whole surface of your hand presses down. Step that leg back underneath you, switch feet. The other one steps back, ball of the foot on the mat, press your heel towards the back of the room. Again, notice if just the heel of your hand gets most of the weight. See if you can press the whole surface, maybe even grip your fingers a little bit down into the mat. And bring that leg back underneath you. So we're going to be spending more time on our hands today, so I want to go through a few wrist stretches for you. So bring your hands a little closer to your knees, and then lean forward, stretching into the wrists. Release that. Take your fingers out to the sides and rock a little side to side. Point the fingers in, still rock a little side to side. And then rotate your fingers so that they point towards your knees. Keep the heels of the hands pressing into the mat and sit your weight back towards your heels. You might not be able to sit back very far, that's okay. Release, turn your hands all the way around the other way so your fingers still point towards your knees as close as they can get. Sit back a little bit. So this is stretching out the forearms as well. And then release. Take the top of the back of your hand to the floor. Fingers point towards your knees. Now you'll want very little weight on your hands here. Palms up, fingers towards the knees. Sink your weight a little towards the heels and then make little fists with your fingers. It won't be very good fists. And then release, interlace the fingers, take a circle, circle the other way. Do the wave. It doesn't really matter if you can do this well or not. Do the other wave. We're just warming up, stretching out our wrists a little bit. So if you find that in these next couple practices your wrists are bothering you a lot, because we will be spending some time on them in plank and downward facing dog and a couple other things, you might want to start doing some wrist strengthening exercises. So some of the easiest things to do to start to develop some wrist strength is just maybe a couple minutes every day, do some circles through the wrists. Circle one direction, circle the other. And you can start there if your wrists bother you a lot. If this doesn't really feel like much of anything, then hold something that has a little bit of weight. So if you have little hand weights, 1, 2, maybe 3 pounds, I wouldn't go any more than that. 1 or 2 pounds would be ideal. You can hold those. If you don't have access to hand weights, see what you do have. A water bottle, a can of beans, whatever it is. Hold a little bit of weight and do those same wrist circles, maybe a minute each direction, do some flexion and extension, and that's gonna start to build some strength in your wrists. Your wrists still probably will bother you for several weeks as you're getting used to putting pressure on them, but hopefully you'll start to build a little bit of strength. Other things you can do if you find that your wrists are really just killing you when we're on our hands flat here, if you get some dumbbells, you can actually put them vertical on your mat and then you hold the dumbbells rather than putting your hands flat, and that way your wrist can be straighter in that position. So it's similar to doing like a push-up on fists, only you have the benefit of not jamming your knuckles down into the floor because you have something a little elevated to hold on to. Otherwise, feel free to take breaks. Even if we're up in a posture on our wrists for several breaths, if you find you need to come down and rest, feel free to do so. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. We're all going to build strength at a different rate. All right, so come back to table, hands and knees. Step one foot back behind you, ball of the foot on the mat. Now press wide through your shoulders. So your shoulder blades are protracted away from the spine. Now step the other foot back. You're in plank. Pull the low belly in, straight line from shoulders to heels. If you need to, you can drop your knees, but keep the weight shifted forward so you're still getting some of the strength benefits. One more breath. Start to bend your knees. Walk your hands to your feet. Roll your way up to standing. And then walk to the front edge of your mat. And if you'd like to have a block for your forward fold, go ahead and grab your block and place it in front of you. Feet are pointing straight ahead, and heels are lined up right under your sit bones, or maybe your feet are all the way together, whichever way is more comfortable to you. As you bend your knees, make sure your knees are tracking right over the second and third toe. So they're not buckling in, they're also not pointing out. Make sure your feet aren't pointing out. They're coming straight ahead as well. Feel the quads pull the kneecaps a little forward and up. Low belly engages. Shoulders pull back and down. Middle fingers reach down. Top of the head floats up. You're in Tadasana. Take a breath in. And let that breath go. Let's go through our half sun salutation. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bend the knees slightly. Exhale, dive your chest forward. Uttanasana. Head hangs heavy. Come up halfway. Hands to shins or thighs, finding a long spine. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold again. Reverse swan dive up. Top of the head leads you up. Come through that long spine. Arms reach out. They collect overhead. Hands to heart center. Take one breath in. Take one breath out. We'll do that again. Arms reach out and up. Inhale. Exhale to dive forward, Uttanasana. Come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold. Reverse swan dive up, inhale. Now your choice, hands to your heart or open the arms, Tadasana. Take a breath in. Let that breath go. Arms reach out and up, inhale. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Come up halfway, shoulder blades pull slightly together. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Swan dive up, inhale. Exhale, Tadasana. Once more, arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, fold. Come up halfway. Fold forward again, Uttanasana. Now move your block out of your way. Bring your hands all the way down to the floor and walk your feet back to plank. Take a full breath here. Lower your knees. Untuck your toes, big toes together. Sit back on your heels, child's pose. Take 2 full breaths here. Either variation of child's pose is fine. Next time you inhale, come back up either to table or to sit. Maybe sitting on your heels or sitting off to one side. Just sit however is comfortable just for a moment while I show you where we're going next. So we're coming into downward facing dog next. This is a very important asana. It's a basic building block of a sun salutation, which is the first thing you're tested on for your practical. You don't have to be perfect at it today, of course. And I'm sorry I used that word because really we're not aiming for perfect in anything. There is no perfect. It's just how to get the most benefit for your body from all of these things. So I'm gonna show you first and then we'll walk it through together. Downward facing dog. So you're gonna start in table and then you're gonna walk your hands a few inches forward so you're in a little bit longer table shape than usual. You're gonna tuck your toes under. You're gonna rock your hips a little forward as if you were gonna go to cow, but you're not gonna go to a full cow. You're just gonna tilt a little bit. This reminds you that your sit bones are poking out behind you, and eventually they're gonna be poking up on the high diagonal. So hips rock a little forward. I'm gonna push through my shoulders. So my shoulder blades are spread wide away from the spine. I'm gonna lift my knees and then send my sit bones way up and back. Push through my shoulders until I have a straight line from wrist to hips. Keep my knees bent, relax my head. So the tendency is to keep too much weight forward here, and you'll see how I have an angle in my armpits. I want to straighten that angle out, send my hips high. I can keep my knees bent the whole time. If this feels really great, I might start to reach my heels towards the mat. I might start to straighten my legs a little more. But you don't want to straighten and have this happen. So you'll notice the shape of my spine and my hip position changed. We want to keep sit bones reaching up, spine in its natural curves. So for a lot of us, we're going to keep our knees slightly bent. Push through the whole surface of the hand. Chest is reaching towards the thighs, but you still want to keep the shoulder blades wide. So if you go so far that you start to dive in here, you've gone too far. Widen the shoulder blades. And then we'll come back down to table and rest. So let's walk through it together now. Come to your table. Walk your hands a few inches forward so you're in a longer table stance. Make sure that your fingers are spread apart. They don't have to be as wide as they'll possibly go, but there's space in between them. Middle fingers are pointing straight ahead, or if you know you have really tight shoulders, you can rotate your hands out a little bit so your index fingers are pointing straight ahead instead. Tuck your toes under. Take the fronts of your hip bones towards the tops of your thighs. So you have a little bit bigger arch in the low back right now. It kind of feels like you're sticking your butt up. That's what it should feel like. Now press wide through the shoulders, push away from the mat. Lift your knees, send your sit bones up and back. Push through the shoulders, relax the head. Try to get a straight line, wrist to hips. Your armpits are all the way open. Now start to reach your heels towards the mat, and maybe your legs start to straighten some. They do not need to straighten all the way. Your heels do not need to reach all the way down to the mat. Take 2 more breaths here. Push the whole surface of the hand into the mat. Shift your weight back forward. Gently lower your knees. Untuck your toes and come to child's pose to rest. If child's pose is not a comfortable resting shape for you, take a different shape to rest and stay where you are for a few breaths. We're going to try that again. Next time you inhale, come back up to table. Walk your hands forward. Fingers are spread wide. Push the whole surface of the hand down. Tuck your toes under. Send the hips a little forward. Sit bones poke out and back. Lift the knees. Send your hips up and back. Press through the shoulders. Keep your knees bent for now. Relax your head. Make sure you can feel those natural curves in your spine, and it feels like you're stretching the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. Now reach your heels towards the mat. Maybe the legs start to extend a little bit. One more full breath in. And let that breath go. Inhale forward to plank. Now, as you come to plank, notice if you're not in plank at all, if your hands are too close to your feet. Go ahead and fix it. Find a true plank. Now try to keep your hands and feet where they are and send the sit bones up and back to downward facing dog. Ideally, that's your alignment. Inhale to plank. Feet and hands don't move. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take that one more time. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Lower your knees. Come to child's pose or another shape to rest. Breathing in. Breathing out. Once more, breath in. Let that breath go. Roll your way up to sitting. Pause for a moment here. So downward facing dog, and if your wrists are bothering you, take a moment to roll them out. Downward facing dog is a very important posture. It's one I recommend you videotape yourself doing, or at least have someone take a photo of you doing it and compare. Make sure that you have a couple things. Straight line from wrist to hips. So make sure you don't have an angle here. So just if you were sitting on the floor and you reached your arms up overhead, notice what this feels like. You don't want your hands in front of you. You feel a different engagement. You want them all the way up and then push. Your shoulder blades are wide and they are elevated, pushing away from the mat. Head is relaxed here. And the other thing to notice especially is your lower back. Do you have its natural arch? So there's naturally an arch in the lower back. We want to make sure when we come to down dog that we maintain that and we don't go into this position. So you'll notice here, my lower back is kind of curved. And this is usually what people do when they have tight hamstrings. So bend your knees more and then really try to stick your butt up and back and try to find that natural arch in the low back. So this is one in particular, it can take some time to work on. It's one where your wrists might start bothering you, so take breaks as you need to. But it's an asana that we will do every single week from now on. So it'll start to feel easier fairly rapidly if you're really staying on top of your practices. It's something that for a lot of you, by the time we get to the end of the semester, downward facing dog will feel like a resting posture. And in more advanced asana practices, it is used as a resting posture. I know a lot of you are not going to believe that from me now, but you'll get there. So, moving on, let's come back to table. And then walk your hands forward and lower down to your belly. As you lower, try to let your elbows hug in close to your body. Toes are untucked, tops of the feet are pressing down. Now remember the back bend we did in our first practice was Sphinx. Today we're gonna learn Cobra. Hands are under shoulders, elbows are lifted, and shoulder blades are pulling down towards the waist. Now on your inhale, lift your chest a little forward and up, but be super light on your hands. I'm not using my hands to lift me, I'm using my upper back muscles. Now exhale right back down. Do that again. Inhale, cobra. This is like a baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Take that one more time. Inhale, cobra. Keep it low, super light on your hands. Exhale, lower. Press back to table and back to child's pose for one breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Come back through table. Lower to your mat, elbows hug close to the body as you go. Hands under shoulders, inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Make sure your shoulders are pulling towards your spine and down. So we don't want to end up here in our cobra with our shoulders forward. Pull them back and down. Next inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Now press back to table. So we're gonna add on a little bit here. So we're gonna add Ashtangasana, which is a way to lower to our mat in a particular way. So from plank position, you're gonna lower knees. Now arch your spine a little bit, lower your chest and your chin. My elbows are lifted up off the mat. Now come back up. You don't really have to come back up that way in a minute, but a lot of us probably didn't get it. So if you found that was super hard and your weight was sort of falling back, your elbows were falling down, you need to shift more weight into your hands. Keep your elbows hugging close to the body, so elbows are pointing straight back towards your feet as you bend. So plank, lower knees, arch the spine, lower chest, lower chin. Now from here, drag your chest forward and up. Untuck your toes, pull the shoulders down, you're in cobra. Now come back to your belly. One more time, cobra. Come back to your belly. Push to table, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Find that long line, wrist to hips. Sit bones are pointing up and back. You've got your natural curves in your spine. Inhale, plank. Lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale, drag the chest forward and up, cobra. Exhale to your belly. Press through hands and knees, and then downward facing dog. One full breath here. Shoulders press strong away from the mat. Inhale, plank. Lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Untuck the toes. Now retuck. Push straight to downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Lower your knees. Untuck the toes. Child's pose. Stay in your child's pose and just listen. So you can keep the arms extended out in front of you here, or you can reach your hands back towards your feet. Let the shoulders drop forward. Now, if you moved the arms for that variation and you find a lot of weight has come into your neck and head, just bring your arms back out in front of you. Take 2 more breaths wherever you are. Now start to roll your way up to sitting. Come off to one side of your heels. Bring your feet out in front of you. So extend both feet out in front of you. Make sure you're sitting in about the middle of your mat. Balls of the feet reach forward. Find your tall spine. If it's difficult to find with the legs completely straight, bend your legs a little bit. Inhale, reach your arms up. On your exhale, folding forward, Paschimottanasana. If you can easily reach your feet, you can always grab a block, place it on the outside of your feet to give yourself something farther to reach towards. You could also take your strap if you have it handy. I know I told you we wouldn't use it today. You could strap your feet for something to hold on to. Or you can just have hands wherever they land. Take 2 more breaths. Next, inhale, come back up. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open. So you're in a butterfly shape. Notice again if you instinctively tucked the pelvis under and you're sort of slouching back. Remember, you can always grab your bolster or your folded blanket to sit on in any of our seated stretches to help you find a neutral pelvis and a taller spine. Feet can be really close to you or they can be farther out, that's your preference. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Reach your chest a little bit forward so you're just hinging from the hips. And maybe you stay here. If you would like to keep going and drape your head and shoulders, you're welcome to. Encourage your knees to reach down towards the floor. Make sure you're breathing. Ideally, you're maintaining that Samavriti, even breath. So not with the holds, but your inhale and your exhale are equal in length. Last breath here. Come back upright. Guide the knees together. Come off anything you might be sitting on. Take your hands behind your thighs, hinge back a few inches, lift the feet, boat. You can always bring the feet back down if this is too intense. So remembering the Sanskrit for boat is Navasana. If this is still easy, reach the arms forward. If that's still easy, straighten the legs. From wherever you are, take head away from feet a few inches. And then come back up. So this can also be done with the legs bent, head away from feet, and come back up. This could also be done with the feet down. Head away from feet, come back up. 2 more wherever you are. Last one. Lower the feet, relax your shoulders, slowly roll down to your back. Arms land. And take a moment here to feel the spine long. Now hug your right knee into your chest. Let the left leg reach long on your mat. Now with your left hand, guide that right knee across your body. Open the right arm out to the side. Your right hip is gonna peel off the mat and that right knee is reaching all the way over towards the floor. It might land, it might not. If this feels too intense, bend your bottom leg and you come back to that stack knee twist that we did in our first practice. One more full breath. Pull yourself back to center. Hug both knees in, Apanasana. Keep the left knee in, let the right leg go long. With the right hand, guide your left knee across the body, left arm opens out, coming into a reclining twist. If this feels too intense with the right leg straight, you can bend it so the knees are stacked. Your gaze can stay straight up, or you might even look towards your left hand. Pull yourself back to center. Hug both knees into your chest. If it feels good to rock a little side to side, massage out your lower back. And now reach your feet both up as if you were going to stand on the ceiling. And take your legs wider than your hips, feet wider than hips. Now bend your knees a little bit. So you're going to imagine that the ceiling is just pressing your feet. So feet are going to stay high. You're going to reach up. Arms are inside your knees. And then maybe you just grab shins or ankles. Maybe you can reach all the way up to the outsides of your feet. If even reaching to your shins is hard, just grab behind your thighs. And you're using your arm muscle to pull down just a little bit. Imagine that ceiling pressing your feet down, as if your knees are going to eventually touch the floor outside your torso. This is happy baby. If it feels good, you might rock a little side to side. If you start to rock and think, wow, that's horrible, come back to center. You've probably already noticed this is a hip opening asana. Babies can do this shape really easily, but as we age, our hips get tighter and it becomes more challenging. Keep your spine long on the mat. So if your hips lifted for you to grab your feet, go ahead and take your grip lower so that your pelvis can land back down. Same thing with head and shoulders. You don't want to be curled up here. We want to be able to relax our spine down. Last breath here. Start to bring your feet together. Bring your feet down to the mat. Take a moment to let the spine be long here. And for today's Shavasana, we're going to take our blanket to make a little prop for the head. So with your blanket, have it folded to where you have maybe an inch or 1.5 inches of cushion, and that's going to go where your head is going to go on the mat. And then with one edge, you're going to make a very small little roll. And it probably won't even stay at first, but as you lay down, pick up that edge, make your roll, and that roll is going to slide under your neck to support the curve of your cervical spine. The back of your head is cushioned on that flatter part of your blanket or towel. And now extend your legs, extend your arms, and close the eyes. Typically, palms resting up, is inviting in the energy around you. If you'd like a more grounded shape, turn the palms down or stack hands on belly. If you feel pinching in the lower back, you can bend your knees, bringing the feet to your mat, and maybe even let the knees drop in to rest together. Letting the breath deepen. Releasing any last bit of holding on that your muscles might be trying to do. Notice, are your shoulders really sinking heavy? Can you release the tension from your jaw? Reminding ourselves that Shavasana should be practiced at the end of every asana practice. It's the most important of our asanas to be sure to include each time we come to our mat, because it gives the body a chance to rest, to incorporate all the work from practice, return to a state of balance. Just as activity is important to us, also should be rest and stillness. Shavasana is that time on our mat to be still, to rest, to focus the mind, and giving the body a break. Take a deep breath in where you are. that breath go. Start to wiggle fingers or toes, inviting in some movement in the body. Reawakening from rest in whatever way feels best to you. On an inhale, you might reach the arms overhead for a big stretch. As you feel ready, exhaling to curl knees towards the chest and roll to your favorite side. You might use one arm as a pillow and pause very briefly on your side. Let this pause be a moment of gratitude towards yourself. Thank yourself for taking this time to connect body, mind, and spirit, and to connect yourself to our virtual yoga community. As you feel ready, press your way back up to sitting, coming back to any comfortable seated position. Maybe sitting on your folded blanket or your bolster, or just sitting flat. We'll only be here for a moment. Sit somewhere where you can find some length through your spine. Sit bones are rooting down. Top of the head is floating up. We'll close practice today with the sound of Om. Om is the universal sound that exists within all living things. It's said if you put all the sounds of the world together at once, all you would hear is Om. It actually has 3 parts: Ah, O, all in one. Om. And so we're not saying something when we are chanting Om, but it's about feeling the vibration around you. Obviously, you'll only hear yourself and me, but maybe you just imagine the other vibrations of sound that are happening in this world at the same time. And maybe even the other sounds that you hear around you at your house or wherever you are. So obviously you're welcome to join in, or maybe you just listen to me this time and join in at another time. We'll take a cleansing breath first, then we'll breathe in together, Om through our exhale, and then fall back into silence. Bring your hands together at your heart. Bow the chin slightly. Eyes can be open or closed. Take a cleansing breath in. Open your mouth, let that breath out with a sigh. Breathing in for Om. Let your thumbs press in towards your heart, your center, and then hands float up, thumbs brush the forehead, connecting heart and mind. Thank you for sharing practice.